So, Patrick, I don't decide what happens in government. I'm the spokesperson of the government, and by that, I have a responsibility to articulate whatever the government asks me to articulate. You know the way the question went suggests that an information minister can just get to write anything and say anything. And sadly, from some of the reactions that I've listened to, I'm in a kind of state of disappointment because some of our very serious officials who've been in high places for years still got some serious understanding as to how government works. And that's a disappointment to me. But let me just state for the record that as the Minister of Information, I speak to issues when I'm instructed to. What the timing, it is not for me to determine. When the government says speak to this issue at this time and this is what we want you to say, I say it. If you have an issue with that, have the issue with the government. So the fact that some will even personalize it, and I heard some very crazy talks, but knowing who I am, Patrick, I don't listen to rubbish. I'm well grounded to just allow things to pass by, and I don't go back and forth with people. I mean, look at it this way: somebody say a lot of things all over the place. We just say one thing. See where they are. Is there a need for me to actually say another thing, even if I was instructed to? I don't think so. We said what we wanted to say as instructed by the government. We're clear, and I mean very clear. If someone has a problem with that, they should have the problem with the government of Liberia, not the Minister of Information, because the Minister of Information did not manufacture what was each issue. He was instructed to, he was dictated to, because that is the position of the government, not the Ministry of Information. Not quite sufficient. A lot of people have called me on different shows. The only person said this, can't respond to it. And I just tell them, carry on. Whatever we say is clear as the morning star. I don't have to go back and forth with anybody. No, absolutely not. And so that's why it is. Whatever understanding interpretation.
Senator Snow said he fears for his life. There have been statements issued by opposition political parties in his defense. Is there any threat?
Threat for what? threat for what? Mr. Snow was in Liberia when auditors were being killed left and right. He had no fear about his life. He was in Liberia when innocent young girls were killed under very questionable circumstances. He had no fear for his life. He was in the country when the former president he was supporting said enough was enough, that if anybody talked to him in the way they normally did at the time, they were not walking the street of Monrovia. When the leader of the country issued that kind of threat, you know how serious it is. He didn't feel insecure. But when he's being called to order, when he's being called to attention for his excesses, for conducting himself in ways that are unrepresentative of the position he occupies at ECOWAS, when he's on the National Security Committee of ECOWAS, he's all over having access to intelligence information, and all of that. When he's being sent everywhere, there's a crisis along with other ECOWAS colleagues to try to find solution, to find settlement, but yet comes back to conduct himself in ways that are unrepresentative of the role he's playing at that regional level. And he believes that nobody should say a word to that.
Exactly.
So the government chose otherwise. The government chose to say something, and the government has said what it's supposed to say. It's out. We're not going back and forth with him. I follow him, writing, talking, and jumping all over the place. That's for him to do. He can continue to do that. It doesn't concern me. It doesn't concern the government. But to specifically answer a question after asking those rhetorical questions I asked earlier, absolutely, there's no need for Mr. Snow to be afraid. If somebody should be afraid, I should be afraid of him, because if you put the both of us history on the pedestal, then I should fear him.
Go, your questions.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, Minister Pierre, I really appreciate your response to the Edwin Snow fiasco. Senator Snow knows better than how he's behaving. Senator Snow knows better than how he's behaving. You cannot have your ambition exceed your patriotism for your country, your love for your country and your fellow citizens. Our people in Bonny County did not empower him to wish bad upon them in order for him to pursue his own greed. This is a tragedy. And Minister Pierre, I don't know if you're aware, but I do mentor young people, and I have a class for Liberian leadership. And some of the things that we discuss, besides history, it's politics, patriotism, ethics. It's called the Ethical Citizenship class. And when Senator Snowe made these comments, these young adults, very young men and women, mostly boys, we're trying to get more girls involved. We only have 3 female students at the moment, but they were so disgusted. The young people were so disgusted by his statement, not about his political ambition, but by the means that he wants to take to get to the end. And their disgust was so brilliantly articulated in class that I felt so proud that, oh my God, our future is bright. Because our young people know right from wrong. Now, and this is more of a comment than a question. And I think the role that you play is so strategic in enlightening the country, and not only about what the instructions are from government, but also putting a positive spin to our culture, our history, and everything else. I mean, your role is so important. And I just wanted to say that before I ask the question. What are the things that you're really prioritizing culture-wise? I know we talk about information being mouthpiece of government, all that one. Culture-wise and tourism-wise, what are things that you're prioritizing for our people, Minister?
So good question. But we must first have some admittance here.
Mm-hmm.
Since 1981, because previously the ministry was just a ministry of information, but in 1981 in particular,
Mm-hmm.
They chose to rename the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism, bringing the other 2 sectors on board. And to admit, there has been a dominance of the communication component of our work over what is being done for culture and tourism. The very first time to have had any real visibility in what we do in terms of culture, in terms of tourism, is under the current administration. Maybe the motivation was the fact that the current government chose to develop their development agenda with a number of pillars, and they chose to make tourism to stand up as a pillar. So that kind of visibility has constrained us to do a number of things. First of all of the different historical cultural places that we've known, that we've had, they all been done when we took over. We've been engaging with reactivating our museum on Broad Street was not even habitable to go and see some of the cultural artifacts that are there. We managed to make it habitable. We have worked with the Ministry of Education, and it's been placed in the curriculum. We're finalizing that for the culture of our country to be taught in school. We're also working with them to establish cultural clubs. All of the understandings have been reached between we and them. God, if you came to the ministry now compared to when you came there way back, when you walk in, you know that you are in a place that manages the cultural heritage of our country. We've opened an art gallery that contains all of the principal cultural artifacts that people got to know about as a country. We've done all of that. But it was surprising to note, Cole, that we're doing all of those. If you check our budget, which is a public instrument, you are not going to see a single line that says this is what the government is committing to the promotion of the cultural heritage of the country. You see that there clearly. Let me just say one of the things we've done also is that we had the Kinija Cultural Center, which was the main reservoir of where we're training people in different things as far as our culture is concerned, including the culture too that we celebrate so much. That place was given to an American businessman under the Saliva administration. The cultural center was broken down. The hotel was built there. The government decided that they will have a new place to build a new cultural village. They found a place in Benstown on the Marshall Highway. But for the many years that went by, nothing happened there. And as a result, there were deep encroachment. 52 acres were bought. And by the time we took over, we established that there were just 11 of the 52 acres left. The current administration that I'm heading has been able to work with the land authority. We've done a resurvey of the land. This coming Saturday, we're having an engagement meeting with the community people. And then after that, a final survey will be done. And our hope is that we reclaim that property so that the vision that was initially inherited to build that cultural city, more than what we destroyed during the previous administration, can come to pass. So we've also done that. But I'm afraid that not much of that will be left with us because we've also passed a law that is establishing what we call the Liberia National Tourism Authority. What that new entity will do is I will take both culture and tourism away from the Ministry of Information, and the ministry will remain the Ministry of Information. What all that I'm doing, or that me and the team here we're doing, is to make sure that we can turn over valuable assets, the programs and other initiatives that we've been running with to the National Tourism Authority so that they don't start their new entity on zero ground. So yes, that's some of the things that we've done just in the 1.5 year we've been here to pay some attention to both the cultural and tourism sector. Two sectors
Excellent.
that have been dominated, two sectors that have been dominated completely by just the information dissemination aspect of the work that the ministry does.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Good job.
Pierre, can you hear me?
Go on.
Oh,
Go
Uh,
ahead.
go ahead.
I should go? I
Yes,
think you
please go
guys
ahead.
already know that Minister Pierre is one of my favorite ministers. I visited him and I showcased his ministry and I saw where he took it from and where it is now, and he continues to work. He didn't wait on government. He didn't wait on, procurement. He went ahead. He reached out to his fellow ministers, his, directors, and they all chipped in, and he's getting that ministry. It's so beautiful in there. You can see the artifacts. You can see, I saw all of our different masks, different counties and the different masks that represent them. The conference room. He now has a big, huge conference room where he has the every Tuesday he has the Ministry of Information press conference, and he's doing so well with that place. I'm so impressed. I just want to be clear. This new land, the land that you're going to survey, and the new place that you're going to build is not anybody's project, right? Just that question, so we can get that out of the way.
It is a government of Liberia project, and it's not anybody. Even if it comes to reality under President Bouaka, it is not Bouaka's project.
It's not
It is the
Waka's
Liberian
project
government project.
because
So
remember you told us.
that's why you see us take it the way we take it, even though it was started by the Saliva administration, though nothing took place on the land actually, and that's what made people to encroach on it. But when we chose to pick it up, we're not picking it up as Bouaka's project, but as a project of the Liberian government, the Liberian people.
Thank you for that clarification. The second thing I wanted to say was that um you're running this whole entire entity with just one vehicle and you do not complain. I've been there. I see you when you bring the vehicle in the morning, you put it out. Minister Sano picks it up. The female minister D, she picks it up. Everybody riding the same vehicle, but yet you don't complain. Yet you continue to work for the Liberian people. And when I was telling you, I said some of these projects, is it gonna be President Jose Nima Boakai project? You told me, you said Fatima is for the Liberian people. It's the Liberian people's project. It's not Joseph Nima Boakai project. Whatever we do here, we do for the Liberian people. So I want to commend you and say thank you. I saw your response on as I heard your response to what Senator Snow said, and I reached out to him today. And I would like to read what we discussed. I actually reached out to him in his inbox. And I said to him, "Hey, Senator Snow, how are you? My regards to mom. You have been trending lately stating you want the government of Liberia to fail. I said, we who care and love you think that it's a terrible thing to say. Just my 2 cents. I cannot publicly go after you because I respect you, but I want you to understand that I'm disappointed in your statement." And this is what he responded. He said, "It definitely came out wrong, but I can never wish my government, my country to fail. Please feel free to contact me so we can discuss further." I believe that when people trust you and put you in ECOWAS to represent our country, and you sit on national, I mean, you sit on some platform, get carried away and say certain things, it actually makes us feel like why our people are electing people who don't care for that country. Because if Liberia fails, if this government fails, all the people in Bomi County fails. If this government fails, our people are impoverished. Everybody in our government, our people suffer. Our projects suffer. Nobody wins. How can you even say that? So I told him today that I was really disappointed in him, and that was his response. So I just wanted to read it to you so you can be clear. I supported everything that you said on that press conference, and I reached out because he speaks highly of me. He cares about me, and I reached out to him, and I wanted you to know what he said. He admitted that he spoke wrongly. I can quote him. He said he spoke wrongly. It came out wrongly. If he thinks that it came out wrongly, I think he should publicly apologize. That is my take. Thank you.
So you see,
Did he say that?
that's part of the reason, that's part of the reasons why we don't go back and forth. We government people, because the goal is not to show who is stronger in debate. When you do something and the government believes that whatever you've done is wrong and they have an opinion, we express it, we move on. The honor is upon you now as a statesperson, like Cole said, to reflect. We are human beings. We can slip. We can do some wrong things. We can do some stupid things. But we should always have the time to sit down, reflect, and determine for ourselves whether we've done good or we've done bad. And if we've done bad, you don't deal with it by some of the things we see happen. I mean, just look around, Fatima. Yeah, people calling themselves majority this, association of this, majority that, they issuing statement all over the place. Why would those statements do? Why spend your little resources creating pseudo and fictitious groups to issue statements in your defense when all you can do is to try to recognize that you flopped and that there's a need to take corrective action. So all of what they're saying, they're not going to generate anything from the government, because the government is not in the business of responding to Jakarta Association, Budubura Association, this association. That's not our interest. So you can form all those pseudo groups, you can form all those fictitious groups, and encourage them, spend some money around, let them issue all the statements they issue. In some of the cases, they've left the issues, they've tried to discuss my person. And you got to be ashamed when you do that. On whose behalf you want to discuss my person? Can you put that person and I on the same pedestal and allow some independent evaluation to take place and see who's who? What are you talking about? The lives that we've all lived here, they're clear, they're on the ground, everybody can see it. You want us to go there? No, I would not go there as a government spokesperson. I will stick to the issue. But just to say to some of those folks, hey, redirect your focus. If you got specific issues that you want to talk about, stop focusing on the individual, because I didn't speak as Jeremy McBean. I articulated a position of the government of Liberia. So if you have a problem with it, have problem with the government of Liberia. When you have problem with the conveyor of the message, then you don't even understand how government runs in the first place. If you are a government official thinking that way too, sorry to say, you are a disgrace to yourself and everything you stand for.
Let me make a follow up to the point that Fatima raised, or the question she asked. I listened to a press conference today with the senator, and he indicated clearly that he would repeat his comment as an opposition, that he does not wish the administration to succeed, because no opposition, which is the incumbent, to succeed, it dampens their chances of election or re-election or election. That comment was buttressed by ex-president George Weah at his Mother's Day sermon, in which he said he also wants the government to fail.